Well, welcome back to school, and I hope you had a great summer vacation. Actually, I'm so happy to see a lot of you that I know. Hello, Ms. Zena, Ms. Hazel. Hi, Jason. So I know a lot of you. So I'm gonna cover. I'm just gonna say hi to the names that I've seen first. And as usual, so happy to host this webinar. For this webinar, what I want to do, I'm just gonna stop sharing a little bit my screen because what we're going to cover is that we're going to cover the entire process from the moment we start school up until almost the end of the year. And this kind of entails the moment we ask for an account cleanup if you are an existing school. If you are a new school, then this step would be kind of waived out. And then we're going to cover the entire thing of how to do the last minute kind of ad hoc changes that might happen in the school, covering the assessments, covering the reports, and going over a little bit general idea about NWEA. If your school could be integrated with NWEA, if you're using a product that could be integrated with our platform that is already on NWEA. Just to make things very kind of interactive, just not to have me always talking, please feel free to ask any question in the chat box while I'm going over the presentation, so we can make it just a little bit interactive. Maybe someone has the same question but didn't share that question, so let's go on and do that. So I'll be sharing here my screen. As I mentioned, what we're going to do is that we're going to be going over, sorry, yeah. We're going to go over the digital account access, managing products and subscriptions, how to bulk upload users, even though this is something that we make sure that we help the school by doing. We usually do the bulk upload, but we keep the last minute changes. If you want to do anything, it's either you can do it yourself or we can help you with that. We can go over managing the class rosters, and then we go to reporting, then assessments, and then we will conclude with the Q&A. Now, the best thing to do is just jump into something practical rather than just talking a lot. So what I'll do is that I will log in to our demo account. So whatever changes is happening here, it's not on a school account. You will have a similar thing to your school account, but whatever is on my screen would be exactly what you have on your screen when you have an admin access. Perfect. Now, from last year up until this year, I'm just going to wait for the page to load. There were a little bit of changes on the platform itself. So for the schools that are, sorry, I'm just going to refresh this page. For the schools that are using our multiple products, like for example, English, math, and science, you used to have two different interfaces at that time. I'm talking about last year. As of this year, we don't have two interfaces anymore. You will be redirected to different pages, but whenever you log in, if you are an admin and you have a teacher's access, this is by default the first thing that you will see whenever you log into your page, and it is divided. We have the Open Learning Platform, and this is under the Open Learning Programs. And these are mostly our math products, our science products, and some of our social studies products, and definitely StudySync, which is our English program. And then under that, we have the Connect Ed programs. And this is used to be a completely different page, but now it's under the same page. And this is where you can find all your English products or my math products. So let's say I'm just going to give an example. Ms. Zaina, you usually have Reading Wonders with us. So this is just an example. So Reading Wonders used to be on our Connect Ed page. So whenever you logged in, you used to be on a Connect Ed page. Now it's a little bit different. Now what happens is that whenever you log in, you will be redirected to this page, which is our main page. And you will find your products right under here under the Connect Ed program. Okay, so this is the main page. If you are an admin, but you don't have access to a teacher's account, you just have access to an admin access, this is where you will be redirected to the admin page. If you have a teacher access, then what you'll have to do is that on the top right of the page, you will find your name here with a role teacher next to it. You just have to press on it and you'll have to go to administrator. Let me see. Great. Okay, perfect. So If you are an admin with no teacher access, this is what you will be redirected at. This is the page where you will log into. And what here happens here is this is the navigation menu. This is what we call it here. It's the navigation menu. And this is everything you need to do when it comes to any changes or anything you want on the school account. So the first thing usually what happens is that whenever you are preparing the roster, you would just want to have an idea of, okay, what are the adoptions that we have with McGraw Hill, how many seats we have, when do they expire, and all of these details, just to be able to have some sort of like a visual of how many students can I register, for example, for this class. So what we'll have to do is that we go to the manage products. This is the fifth icon on the navigation menu. I'm not going to go by order. If I go by order, then the story wouldn't make sense. But just to make sense of the story, the first thing we can see is the manage products. Under the manage products, this is where you can see all the products that your school has with McGraw Hill. We can, not clear, okay. The page is not clear, or what I'm saying is not clear. Please, Heba, let me know so that I
Page
can
loaded a
clarify.
bit late.
Sorry?
I was just saying the page loaded a bit late.
Oh, okay. This page is not clear. Okay.
I think so.
And
Yes, the page is not displayed here, but now it's clear, right?
now
Hiba,
it's
because
clear.
it's
Heba, if
fine
you're
for me.
facing a Yeah, sorry. If you're facing a problem, I would say if you can just disconnect and reconnect again, like log out and log in again, and I think this would work. All right, so under Manage Products, this is where we can see all the products that your school has with McGraw Hill. And here you can see the seats that were purchased, the seats that are available, and the seats that are consumed. This will help you in knowing, for example, if you are preparing the roster file to send it to McGraw Hill, the first thing you want to know is that, okay, for grade, let's say, let's go into something a little bit kind of relatable. A little bit more relatable. So let's go to, let's give an example on, these are a lot of products. Okay, Inspire Science, let's say for grade one. Let's say that the seats that are purchased are 71 seats. So while I'm preparing the roster file for grade one for Inspire Science, I just need to be mindful that I have 71 seats. So what I can do is that I can register up to 71 students and below. More than that, the system is not going to take it. So this is where you have a visual of, okay, we have 71 seats that are purchased. We have 69 that are still available and 2 that are consumed. So now we know that even though 71 have been purchased, we have already consumed 2. Okay, that usually happens when we do the bulk rostering. That would help you more, for example, 2 or 3 weeks after your start date of the school, and then you have students coming in, new students coming in. So you would know that, okay, now let's say we still have, let's say, I'm just giving an example, 2 more seats that are available, so I can register up to 2 students. Any students that's joining in that would need access to grade 1 Inspire Science, we would need to purchase that student license again. So this is where you can find it. And this is, make sure that this is the student edition that we're looking at. Anything else, we have the teacher's edition here. Under the teacher's edition, this is where you can see exactly the same information, but a little bit more details. Here we have 4 seats that were purchased for teachers. We have 2 that are available and 2 that are consumed. Let's say you are not sure who are the teachers who are consuming the 2 teacher licenses for Inspire Science Grade 1. This is where you can press Manage Products. And this is where you can see all the details, whether it is the start date of the license, the expiry date of the license, and under teachers list, which is next to master code, this is where you can see the teachers that are consuming this license. So we have 2 teachers. One of them is Muhammad Al-Shamri, and the other teacher is Inspire Science teacher K22. Okay? So I would say this is the thing that you would need the most from this page, from the Manage Products page. Okay, this would be the thing. Now, the last thing that I would mention about the managing products is that, Sorry, we have a question. If you have, for example, 15 students and I buy only 10 books this year because I have 5 books from last year, will you give me only 10 licenses this year? Okay, Miss Abir, this is a great question. So what happens is that whenever you are putting in your order, there are two types of orders. You have the order for the bundle. So let's say you have the bundle is the books and the online accesses, and you can purchase the online access without the book. So it's either the bundle with two, it's either the online license. So let's say you have in your inventory, you have 15 students, and in your inventory, you have 5 books, and you need 15 online accesses and 10 books. So you would order 10 bundles, which is 10 books with the online accesses, and 5 separate online accesses to be able to accommodate to 15 students in terms of books and online accesses. Does that answer your question? Is that clear? All right, we're gonna assume that this is clear. Oh, but I do not use all the license for. Oh, yeah, that's the thing. The thing is that the books they can go on from one year to another because you have them in your inventory. But unfortunately, the online access has an expiry date of 1 year because some updates might happen on the platform. So whenever we do any updates on the platform, the new license wouldn't take it because there would be some changes there. So yeah, unfortunately, the books can stay for as long as you want, but the online accesses they just have 1 year before they expire. All right. Now, sorry. Okay, thank you so much. So now one last thing I have to say about that. Remember when we started, we talked about something called the open learning platform and something called the Connect Ed program. The Connect Ed, as I said, usually features courses like English and math, and you will get used to it once you start working on it. And then your open learning platform, the OLP, hosts mostly science and mostly science and reveal math, and the Connect Ed Reading Wonders and My Math. Again, this is nothing to worry about, but let's say you are trying to create a course for My Math. You will just need, if you are trying to create a course for a teacher, you will just need to go to My Math, go to the teacher's edition here, and then just press on Manage and take the master code. This is because you need to redeem a code once you create the class. The entire bulk upload classes is done by McGraw Hill, but let's say you have head of department that would need access to the material of grade 1 My Math. They can just go to manage products under teacher license. They can copy this, they can copy the master code here, they can go back to their teacher license, and what they'll need to do is that they'll need to redeem this product. In order to redeem the product, I'll just wait for it. There's this icon here where it mentions redeem connect ed products. And this is where you press on that and you just paste the master code. If the course is for a teacher that doesn't have an admin access, the teacher can ask anyone from the school who has admin access to send her this master code. And once the teacher enters the master code and presses on next, she would be able to see the course here and she can add the content. Now, you would ask me, okay, this is for Connect Ed programs. This is My Math, this is Reading Wonders, and this is, for example, Geography. What about if the product is on an open learning platform, is on the OLP? So this is kind of a little bit more, it's a little bit easier. So the teacher or the admin doesn't have to redeem the Connect Ed product. They can press on Create Class. Once they can press on Create Class, they can find all of the products that they have with McGraw Hill that are on the open learning platform. Okay, so let's say we went for Inspire Science Grade 7. They'll just have to choose Inspire Science Grade 7 and they'll press on continue, and this is where they fill in the class information. And sorry, just one more thing. Just be mindful that you are only you have access to see only the products that the school has with McGraw Hill. The school has purchased with McGraw Hill, not all the products that McGraw Hill has. Obviously, here we are seeing so many options because this is a demo account for McGraw Hill. So we have included all the products, not just few products. Okay, but in your case, you will be able only to see the products that you have with our with McGraw Hill. Okay, so any questions so far, or everything's clear?
All good so far.
All good, perfect, perfect. All right, then let's go back to the administrator dashboard. And after we check in and check all the licenses that we have, we obviously prepare the roster file. The roster file is something similar to this one that we are sending. It has two tabs, the student tab and the teachers tab, and it has the student user ID. And here we're going to talk a little bit about the NWEA. The student user ID, and this some confusion happens here, is different from the student username. So the student user ID is the distinctive user ID that you have for each and every student. And if you are at any point willing to integrate your school, if you are using Reveal Math or Reading Wonders, and you want to integrate your school with NWEA, this username here that you put for the student should be matching the one that you have included on the NWEA form. Okay? The role here is student unless it's a teacher. And then you would mention here the first name of the student, the last name of the student, the grade and section. And this is very important here to mention the section just to be able to assign the right student, not only to the right grade. So we're just assigning Tom James here, not only to grade 5, but grade 5A. An email. So all the starred sections here, the ones that have a star are mandatory. If it's not mandatory, then it's not starred. So email is not mandatory. If you have it, then it would be definitely much better. The username have some requirements, so it must include, for example, it must be unique across all students. No two students have the same username. It can include letters and numbers, and it should be between 4 and 50 characters. So I have included all the notes here. And the password also has requirements. Usually it's optional. We set it by default as student123 capital S, but it's up to you. If you are using, for example, an LMS at school and you want to match the username and password of the LMS to the username and password of McGraw Hill product, this could be your chance to do it here. And then the program. The program is very important just because sometimes many confusions happens here. So for example, let's say we are using math or science for grades above grade 8. So for grade 9, 10, 11, 12, confusions might happen because you might fill in the roster for someone in grade 9, for example, and you might say that, okay, for example, he's in grade 9 and he's using Reveal Math. But for grade 9 Reveal Math, it could be Algebra 1, it could be Geometry, it could be Algebra 2. It depends on the schools. Some schools, they use, for example, Algebra 1 and Geometry for grade 1. Other schools, they only use Algebra 1. So the more details you can include here, the better, so that we can just do the rostering from one go. And same for science. Some students are using biology for grade 9, other students are using chemistry. So mostly if we can just include that, not only Inspire Science Biology, and not only Reveal Math Algebra 1, this would make it so much easier, and this would also like kind of reduce the delay in sending over the rosters and the back and forth that happens. So once this is completed, what we do is that, and this you don't have to worry about it. Sorry, yeah. We have one question. Okay, we can definitely send you a copy of this file for sure. I'll drop it here. I'll drop it in the chat. Okay, just a minute. All right. So once we have that done and it is sent back to us, so algebra and geometry will be mentioned together in the program, right? So hello, Miss Salma. So the thing is that algebra and geometry, it depends. If your students are using only algebra 1 for grade 9, then we just mention algebra 1. If algebra and geometry are being used by the students, both, yes, then we mention algebra and geometry so that we know that we want to create grade 9A algebra and grade 9A geometry as well. Okay? All right, we have one question from Mr. Mahmoud. Are we going to handle the rostering process ourselves this year, or will McGraw Hill support us with it as you did last year? No, Mr. Mahmoud, no. You just have to fill in the file, the format that I've just showed you for the rostering template, and then you just share it with us, and we do the entire rostering process. We just need these details in order to be able to assign the right students and the right teachers to the right classes and sections. So don't worry about that. It's same as last year. Batilu, hello. So welcome. No worries. No need to be sorry for that. Thank you for joining. All right. So after this file is sent to us, sorry, I just forgot to say something about the file too. As I mentioned before, it's separated into two different tabs, and this is the teachers tab. The teachers tab is pretty much simple. The user ID, the name, last name, teacher's email, the username, the password, and if it's a new or existing teacher, this is not important. We just only need to make sure that we have the grade and the section and the program and the name of the teacher right, and then we can assign it. So no need to worry about that. Once this is completed, it is sent to me, and then we will work on the rosters. How that happens? Sorry. All right, we have one question. Is it possible for the teachers to download the video featured in the study sync just in case, just in case the internet connection doesn't work during the lesson itself? The teacher would like to have her resources ready a day before the teaching week. Okay, so unfortunately, that's not always the issue with study sync, especially for, I would say, copyright activities. We are not allowed to download resources, especially when it comes to videos. We are allowed to download other resources when it comes to assignments or assessments. That's the case. But videos, unfortunately, that's not the case. I do understand that, but maybe a better approach would be, for example, if a teacher is preparing her lesson plan for the next day, maybe if she would have everything opened in a tab and ready to use, even at some point, if the teacher loses connection, if she has them opened in a tab, she can just use them as usual. But sorry for that here. Okay, now we have another question. Please, we are using integration with our LMS Quality. How to make a single sign-in? Okay, for the single sign-on, I'll be sharing my email at the end of this presentation. You can just please send me an email. Tell me that you are using Schoology in your school. If you can mention your school, what's the name of your school, and I can assign it to the integration department, and they can take you over the entire process of how to do the single sign-on and how our LMS works with Schoology, because Schoology is one of the LMSs that we work with. Okay, we are a new school. Is there a deadline to send you the forms? Well, we don't have a particular deadline to send me the forms. The only thing is that you just have to abide by the kind of the time frame of when the students come back from their summer break and when do you want them to have access. From our side, there is no deadline, there is no time frame. It depends on the school. Okay, Batilu? Perfect. Now, moving on. Once the format is, no worries. Once the format is sent, we would just go to import users and rosters. And this is the third icon on the navigation menu. And we just extract a blank template. And the blank template, I'm just gonna extract it here just to show you an example. And this is where we fill in everything that Okay, so here we fill in all the details that you have sent us on this form. Now, the user GUID, you don't have to worry about it. It's nothing. We don't have to worry about it, especially when we do the account cleanup, all the users are new. The user ID, you already provided us with the user ID. The role, you already provided us with the role. First name, last name, grade level. This is like grade 5, 6. The email address, the username, the password. This is all done by you. The class GUID, you also don't have to worry about it. So you don't have to worry. This file, I'm just gonna go over it real fast because this is what we do from our side, but I just want you to have an idea of what happens in the back end, but you don't have to worry about anything. You just fill in the roster template that I showed you and you just send it to us, and this is what we do from the back end. The class ID and the class name, this is when we come up with classes. So let's say grade 12A science or grade 12A algebra 2 or pre-calculus. The grade level is exactly the same here as grade level. The class start date is whenever we are doing the roster. The end date usually is whenever we anticipate the end date of the school. We usually keep it for a year. And the master code is exactly what I showed you, that we got it from managed products. And we got that from each and every adoption. Next to the license, there is the word manage. And if we are rostering the 5 steps to A5 AP Calculus, this is where we take this master code, and I can see that we have 5 licenses for students. Then I can use this code 5 times in order to register 5 students. So this is mostly the master code. Again, sorry for like focusing on that, but you don't have to worry about anything here. This is just for us, but I just want you to know what happens in the back end and sometimes why these rosters take time, because each and every student is kind of registered by themselves. So this is what happens here. Now, once this is done, we have the bulk upload. All the students would be registered in the school, and all the students and teachers would be linked to their classes and to their sections as well. Now, we have everything done, and 2 weeks from now, the school have started and we have a student coming in. So we want to add the student to the class, to the school account. So how does that happen? This is where we go to manage users, which is the first icon on the navigation menu. And this is where we can see all the students that we have in our school. As of now, we have 38 students that are registered in McGraw Hill International Live Demo School. Okay? So let's say we want to add another student. So let me just follow this certain format here. So I'm gonna add a student by pressing on create student. And this is where I'm gonna put the first name, and I'm just gonna put XYZ, and then XY. Sorry. Middle name is not that important. It's important to mention the middle name. Let's say you have multiple, for example, Ali Muhammads in your schools, someone with the name Ali and family name Muhammad, and you want to differentiate them from their family names. This is where you can just make use of the family name. Otherwise, you don't have to include it. Let's say Ali is in grade 5, and his email address is xyz@mheducation.com, and the username is XYZ 2025, and the password is student123. Okay, and here we just choose that this is the Ali's school, and the student ID is 2025-Ali. I'm just giving an example here. So we just fill in the student's information and we save it. Once we save it, Ali would be, not now. I'm not gonna save it. Inshallah, I haven't saved it. Okay, yeah. Okay, Ali would be here on the school account, but even though Ali is in grade 5, Ali is not linked to any of the classes, or XYZ, sorry. XYZ is not linked to any of the classes. So XYZ is just on the school account, but not linked. Okay, this is how we add a student to the school account. The next step is to add the student to a class. So this is where we go to manage class rosters here, which is the second icon on the navigation menu, and we would need to add XYZ. I'm just gonna take a name from here because I haven't saved XYZ, and maybe I'm gonna go to, there's a name here, student walkthrough. Okay, so student walkthrough is a new student at the school. That student haven't been rostered, and that student, let's say, is in grade 5. Let's focus on grade 5. So what we'll need to do in the manage class rosters, this is where you can see all the classes that you have in your school. You just go to the filter icon here on the right side, press on grade 5, save, and then press on X here. And this is where it filters all the grade 5 classes that are in the school. We have a question. Will you be sending this reporting to us in case we need to go through this? Yeah, definitely. Melanie, hi. Yes, the recording would be shared for sure. All right, so this is for grade 5. Let's say I want to add student walkthrough to everyday math teacher. I'll just press on the three dots here on the right side, edit roster, and we'll have to do it twice. So we go to grade 5, we choose the class name, let's say everyday math grade 5. We press and edit roster once, and we go twice. That's only the first time. Once you do it the first time, then no need to do it again. And here we can have that, we can see that there's a student with the student ID L-21, and his name is everyday math student is there. And here I will add, press on edit student roster and search for, instead of searching for the student here, because we might have hundreds of students, we can just press on student walkthrough. And in the student walkthrough, I can just press on this small icon here, which is the plus icon, and I can see that the student moved from school student roster to class student roster. So now we have 2 students under this class, and we save the roster. I'm not going to save it, but this is how you usually do it, and you save the roster. Now, this is exactly the same case for students that are leaving. You are not allowed to delete students from manage users. So what you can do if you don't want a student to have access to classes anymore, you just go through to the class, same steps, edit student roster, and instead of adding any student from here, you just press on the X icon here, and then you would remove the student from the class student roster, and he would be in the school student roster. Okay, so this is how you add a new student, or maybe that student is, you just want to remove them from one section and add them in a different section. So that's not only adding new students. If you have a student that changed sections, let's say the student walkthrough was in 5A, now the student went to 5B. This is how you remove the student from 5B and you add them into 5A. Okay, and it's exactly the same with teachers. Teacher, instead of going to the teacher, let's say everyday math was given by everyday math teacher. Now it's gonna be with a different teacher. This is where you also add a teacher roster and choose the teacher that you want to add to this class. Sometimes it's also not a teacher is replacing another teacher. Sometimes it's the head of department of math would want to have access to what's happening in this class. So you want to add the head of department. So you just press on that and you choose the teacher that you want to assign to this class and you press on it. One last thing I have to say here, sorry for sharing so many information. I just have to say one thing. Let's say everyday math teacher left the school and you want to add another teacher. What we'll have to do here, and this is very important, not to delete the class by mistake. You added the teacher, you add the teacher that you want to add first. So let's say it doesn't make sense, but let's say the Alex teacher, but it doesn't make sense here, but just giving an example. So you add the Alex teacher here, you save it, you press on save roster. So you make sure that the class now is linked to Alex teacher, is synchronized with the Alex teacher. And then once you save it and you make sure that the teacher roster has been successfully updated, you go there, you press on edit teacher roster, and you remove the previous teacher, which in our case is the everyday math teacher, and then you remove it and you save again. Because if you do it all in one go, the system wouldn't understand to synchronize the class with the Alex teacher, with the new teacher, and therefore the class would be automatically archived and you wouldn't find it anywhere. So now I'm just going to take it back to how it was. But yes, so what I'll do here, because I need to remove Alex teacher, I'll just press on everyday math teacher. I'm just going to save it here. We need to make sure that there's always at least one teacher under one class. Now I made sure that the teacher roster has been successfully updated. So the class has been synchronized with everyday math teacher. And this is where I go to edit teacher roster again and remove the Alex teacher and then save the roster again. Okay. So we have covered so far the manage class rosters, manage products, and then manage users partially. Why partially? Because we still have the staff here under the manage users. If we have a new student, we can add it through creating a student. If you have a new staff, you can press on staff and you can create a new staff. Now I have 2 points here, but I think I have a question. Let me take this question before. Oh, okay, this is Sarish. Sorry for that. Yeah. So under staff, we have two main pages, I would say. The first page would be is the McGraw Hill live demo, and this falls under districts. And here we can find that we can only see our administrators, okay? What if we want to see our teachers? This is where we go to McGraw Hill or your name of the school, and we go under schools. So under district is the administrators, under school is the teachers. This is where you can find the teachers. And here you can do all the changes that you want to do for teachers. Let's say Daniel left McGraw Hill school. That's not the case, but let's say I left. I just have to press on that, the 3 dots here, and drop Daniel. So by dropping Daniel, I would make sure that Daniel is no longer a teacher working in McGraw Hill School. Okay? And it's exactly the same for administrators. If I go here, I can also drop Daniel from the administrator. Let's say Daniel was replaced by someone else, and let's take a real life example here, and we're gonna say Alex. Okay, I want to create a staff. Alex replaced Daniel. So what I will take is Alex, and I'm gonna take Zaina's family name because that's the first name on my mind. Okay, so Alex Fayyad, this is a combination of our attendees. And then we just make sure to have his email, username, and password. The username of Alex could be the username, the email, sorry. The username could be the email, and the password could be whatever you want. And here, where since Daniel was an administrator and a teacher as well, we want Alex to be an administrator and a teacher. And this is where we choose the role as an administrator. We choose McGraw Hill Live Demo School. And we choose that we want Alex to have full access. So we're going to give him organization, administrator, reporting, and curriculum. And organization is when you have access to students and classes. Reporting is when you have access to the admin dashboard, which is here. And curriculum is when you have access to the assessment. So it's up to you to choose. Let's say for the head of departments, you only want them to have access to assessments, so you just choose curriculum. If someone is working in, let's say, I don't know, in the department of analysis, the analytical department, you just want them to have a reporting access, so you just choose the reporting where they just have access to the reports. So it's up to you, but I want to give Alex full access. And then I want Alex to be a teacher as well. So I add a role here. I'm pressed on teacher, select the organization, and then enter the staff ID, and I save it. Once I save it, I would have another admin and teacher on the platform, which is Alex Fayyad, which is working now instead of Daniel in McGraw Hill International Live Demo. Now, final thing I have to say about that, let's say Daniel did a lot of stuff during his work in McGraw Hill. This is where you can just kind of work on the platform itself instead of deleting Daniel because you want to retain all the assessments, all the assignments that Daniel was working on. You just press on Added Staff, and instead of creating a completely new staff, you just press on Daniel and you change it to Alex and Saad to Fayyad, and then you update the email address, the username, and the password, and you just save it. So now Daniel's access is completely towards Alex. Okay? Oh my God, we're short on time. So we have covered the manage. Amazing. All right, perfect. So we have covered manage users, manage class rosters, import users and rosters. View organization, it's nothing. It will just redirect you to a page where it shows you the name of your school. Obviously, you know it. Manage products covered. Manage library, it's nothing. It's a blank page. Now we have assessments and admin dashboard. The assessment here, we're not going to cover it in details. It's just whatever assessments that is present here. For each grade, you have more than 3,000 assessments per subject. So this is where you can literally choose whatever topic you want as an admin. Let's say you are head of a department and you want to kind of consolidate the midterm exam across the entire school, let's say for grade 1 math. So what you'll have to go is to search for grade 1 math, reveal math. We want to go to grade 1. And here you can see all the assessments that have been prepared by McGraw Hill publishers, and they include more than 3,000 questions. You create a new district bank for, let's say, midterm exam math grade 1, and then you save it. And then once you create that, you just choose the assessment of your choice. It could be an assessment, it could be a practice, and you will become familiar with this once you get into it. And then you can assign that assessment to the new district bank. And this is where teachers can go to their assessments from their sites, choose this assessment, and assign it to their students. So this is in a nutshell. Again, we can do one-on-one trainings because that usually entails an academic training. Just have the general idea that you as an admin can create a general assignment and assign it across all teachers, and then they can use this assignment to assign it to students as well. You can create your own assignment, like your own questions. You can choose the questions that are ready-made by our publishers, or you can do a fusion of both. So you can have one assignment that has questions prepared by McGraw Hill and questions that you have created. More information on that by the academic team, or just feel free at the end of the session to take my number and my email, and we can have one-on-one training on just assessments. And finally, the admin dashboard. The admin dashboard, this includes all the reports that we had last year. If you remember, last academic year, we had different kinds of tabs for reports. We had the user reports by itself. We have the progress reports by itself. So now everything falls under admin dashboard. Now, by the time this is loading, we have 3 different types of reports. We have the user report. The user report shows you the kind of engagement with the platform by teachers and by students. So for example, let's say you want to know if your teachers are using the platform. So you go to administrator dashboard. Under user report, you just extract file, but you have to filter it. You can see who are the teachers that have been engaging with the platform for the past 1 day, for the past 7 days, which is a week, for the past 30 days, which is approximately a month, or you can even customize your search. Let's say you are 2 months into the school year and you want to know who are the teachers that have been engaging with the program. So you just, with the, online platform. So this is where you customize your search from 2 months ago up until now. And it will give you a detailed report on who are the teachers who have been using the platform the most. And it will also give you details such as the login and the login timing and date. Okay. So it seems that we have someone from another country opening the same platform. This is why it's not working. Let's try to refresh this page. Now, the other type of report is the standard report. The standard report shows you to every activity that the school or the teacher that has been working on, to which skill and standard does it relate. This is very important to know that, okay, by the end of the year, I know that we have been working on Common Core standards, on NGSS, on all of these standards, and that, oh, here we go. So yeah, this is where you can see the admin dashboard. This is where you can see all other reports. You can filter your reports based on the products that you have with McGraw Hill. Here, based on the skill and standards, this includes all. So we have an Inspire Biology. The students have scored 66.7% out of their standards. So they have covered pretty much. That's what I've been talking about. So active for the past 30 days, 30 teachers. The total users are 48. If we go to view details, this is where you can customize, like month, and this is where you can 30 days, and then you can also check the students as well. It doesn't have to be the teacher, and this report is exportable. So it gives you the username, the first name and the last name of the teacher, the organization itself, and the last login in details. Okay? Back to admin dashboard, and then the other two types of reports would be the activity report and the standard report. If I press on Inspire Biology, we have the activity and the standard. In the activity, this is a very smart report because it doesn't only show you the activity that has been done, it shows you the assessment, the name of the assessment itself, view details, and the questions. And the questions, when we say questions, it's not that it's only the question, it's also the question analysis. So here, for example, we have for this activity, because you already like filtered it and you know exactly what you're looking for. For this activity, 70%, the students scored 70% of this activity, which is fair, I would say. But if you go to question analysis, which is the most important part, this is where you can see the questions that have been asked in this activity. So question one, this was question one, and we have the average score was 80%. Question two, the average score was 80% too. Question three, the average score was 40%. Let's go to question three here. And here we can see the correct, two students got it correct and three students got it incorrect. So the average is 40%. And this doesn't cover any standard, but if it covered any standard, it would show here. Unfortunately, the questions here, they don't show, but it's very smart that it shows you who are the students that got the question right and who are the students that got it wrong. So for example, Barbara here got the question wrong. Barbara here got it wrong. Okay, so mostly Barbara got 3 questions out of 4 wrong. So maybe we need to revisit what's happening with Barbara, or maybe we need to revisit, let's say, question number 3. Maybe see why this particular question got only 40% of the students having it right. So this is the smart part about it. As for the standards, I was saying that this shows you what were the standards that were covered in the activity. Now, because this activity doesn't pertain to any standard, unfortunately, there isn't no data. But when the assignment is linked to a standard, it will give you in details what is the standard and the skill that is covered and how much did the student score. I'm so sorry. So yeah, again, when it comes to assignments, assessments, and the admin dashboard, you would need to have some data, and this is very important for you as admins to always remind your teachers to assign all of these assignments and assessments on the platform so that these kind of data, they would turn into raw reports instead of just assigning them by printing them, because that wouldn't reflect on the platform itself. Okay, and these, please feel free to, sorry, I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna open this page, and please, wow, Sarish, what a picture. You can just send me a WhatsApp on my number, or you can just send me an email and you would tell me, please, Daniel, we need further details, or we need to do a training of the, let's say, assessment part or the reporting part, or all together, and we can do this one-on-one based on whatever the school has in terms of adoptions, in terms of how many students you have, and in terms of requirements. So that would cover almost everything that I have to say about this training. Again, this is kind of the training in a nutshell. There are so many details in each and every field, and there's a lot of room for troubleshooting. Each school has different cases, so I'm happy to answer any questions now. Are there any questions in the Q&A, or all is good?
Thank you, Danielle. I just want to say that this was very, very thorough. Thank you so much. I think it was very well covered. You covered most of the aspects and we took a lot of questions. Thank you so much for taking the time out.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ms. Zaina. Thank you, everyone.
Danielle is still here. If you have any questions that are left out
Yeah.
and need to be covered, we can answer them, of course. But he's also shared his number with you. If you have anything you want to check, you can get in touch. But let us know if there are any questions before we end.
I'm just typing in my number, and my email is Daniel. Sorry, Daniel.
Okay, perfect.
mheducation.com.
And I just want to remind you that this is one of the implementation webinars that are taking place, but we also have two more. So in case you have any of your colleagues who you feel like need to attend this session again, we have two more. We have one next week on the 26th, and then we have one on the 2nd. So if you need to attend and if you think if you will benefit, I will drop the link for you in the chat.
Okay,
Danielle
and
has also
someone,
dropped the, I think,
yeah.
Danielle, you have to share that again. It was sent to host and panelist, the rostering
Oh,
template. Can you send it again? Just drop down and send it to everyone.
I don't have the option of everyone. I just have you and host and panelists.
Okay, then let me download this template and send it to everybody. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm
All
not
right.
able to download this version. What I can do is on that email, we can send this to you
Yeah,
when we
or if
send
you
you the
want,
thank you
or
email.
yeah, if anybody, because a lot of people I know here have that format. For Basant, please, if you want, you can just drop me an email on
Yes, there
daniel.sad@mheducation.com
you go.
and I can send it to you personally. daniel.sad@mheducation.com. And you can either also reach to me by my number, Sarish, please, if you can just send it to everyone.
Done.
Um,
Sent it. I've shared your
yeah.
number, I've shared your contact details, and also the link to register for the other two webinars. One of them Danielle is covering on the 2nd if you want to attend. That's it for today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Danielle.
Yay.
See you all next
All
time.
right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Take care. Thank you.